Welcome to Amy Kardashian and the Expert Show, where the experts share their knowledge, wisdom, and powerful insights to help you transform your business and personal life. I am your host, Amy Kardashian, not Kardashian. I have a great show today for you. You are going to walk away inspired and empowered if you want to start your business, if you want to really go to a higher level, you want to improve your life, and it's everything in between. Trust me, this show, it's gonna be amazing with a lot of insights for you to walk away with. So I have in the studio here with me Tim Johnson, and he is going to talk about how to know why your customer will buy before they do and why. And before I bring him, introduce him to you, Tim has written 9 books, and he's gonna finish his 10th book very soon. He is an internationally known keynote speaker, and also he's a coach. Welcome, Tim.
Thank you, Miss Amy.
Nice to have you.
You as well.
Yeah, I was so looking forward to having you here because I have heard your interviews, I heard about you, and you have so much knowledge to share with the world. That is amazing, and I really want to introduce you to my audience because that's what I do. I want them to be inspired. So before we start to give them some insights, I want them to see where you came from and how you start with your life, to give us a picture where you learned all the stuff. So,
well, my dad was executed on death row on national TV in 1978. Wow. They actually caught him at the YMCA in Chicago. He killed 6 people in a steakhouse and a family on the side of the road in 1978.
Wow.
I ended up going into foster homes, quite a few of them, had lots and lots of sisters. I was raped, I was beaten, you know, so the whole typical things that happen in certain foster homes. I'm not saying all foster homes are bad, but definitely a place that was bad. One of my sisters committed suicide. Another friend of mine shot his dad in the face.
Wow.
I ended up burning my arms, got in trouble when I was in the military. I ended up putting cigars out of my arms, just do a lot of really stupid things that I talk about. But really that was, it was in right as I was turning 17, 18, a friend of mine, Double R, actually introduced me to a bunch of Vietnam vets. And I was able to sit in a VA hospital and really just hear like the craziest off the wall stuff. And then, of course, when I listen to all these guys, I'm like, dude, I'm not as jacked up as any of y'all.
Wow.
And then, of course,
it's worse, kind of.
Oh, it's way worse. And you know,
I mean, what could be worse than this?
That's what I thought.
You've been through a lot, so.
But what I realized through a lot of great mentorship and a lot of great friends, my story was something to inspire people to achieve more than what they thought they could.
I mean, if you came from that place and you are where you are now.
Yep.
I know where you are now.
Yeah.
It's amazing. It's such an inspiration to know, you know, there is no excuse. Basically, you're saying there is no excuse to get to where you want to go when you're going through ups and downs a little bit.
Well, I mean, if you go to third world countries, I mean, I've been able to go to Nigeria. I just did a great trip with Roger Salam in Bangladesh. And you see these kids, they live on less than $1 a day. I mean, do I really have something to complain about here in the United States? I mean, you know, most people that you hear, the problem is, but because. And they just give me an excuse as to why they can't do something. And when I can share my story from stage, it really identifies, like, listen, if you want to go be something, you know, we talk about the 3 investments, there's time, money, and change. You know, if you change your habits, the other 2 automatically fix themselves.
Absolutely. This is amazing. Okay, so how did you get to where? Did anyone inspire you? What happened?
Lots of people. I mean, people inspire you every day. It depends how you listen. See, I'm
That's
not
a good
listening.
point. Depends how you listen. I hope you're listening today to learn from Tim. Okay.
Well, it's about the way that you listen. I mean, when you listen, when you drop the ego, most of the time when we're in masterminds or with people, if we have an I know attitude, okay. You know, Peter Anthony, where we met, we talked about something specific. What is it that we don't see?
Under the ego.
It's under ego, right? But the thing is, when you go out and you surround yourself, I mean, Fortune 500 companies have a board of advisors for a reason. Each one of the men and women that are on that board are super skilled in one specific thing. Well, if it works for Fortune 500 companies, why would it not work for small business owners and people like us?
Well, people, because they think those companies are already up there and I'm nothing, I'm nobody. They don't understand that they could take it from where they're at to become that. I mean, majority of those companies, they started from nothing.
Well, but what most people don't realize, if I could share, is that if you're not growing, your business is not going to grow. It starts at home. You know, one of the tests that we do, and this will be sound of weird, anybody that I coach, I find out what their love language is. Okay, because if one of their love languages is acts of service, I know I just got to get stuff done. If it's words of affirmation, I know that every time they have a little win, I need to make sure that I say, hey, great job.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
start talking in their language. Go ahead.
Now, talking about languages, because I know this is a really longer subject to go into that, and I want to make sure we have enough time. So we are going to go to a very short commercial. We'll be right back talking about, you know, more of the subject, beautiful subject. You know, we'll be right back.
Thank you for calling Denim Revival.
Hate to say goodbye to your favorite jeans? Well, now you don't have to, because Denim Revival is here for you. Mail us your jeans and our professionals will fix it right up. We offer you all kinds of alteration services, including invisible repairs, let-outs, taperings, and original hemming, or even have your own custom-made jeans. Quoted the best denim repair shop by GQ, Vogue Magazine, and LA Times. Denim Revival, your search for alteration and repair ends here.
And to you it ain't pretty little thing, howdy your baby.
So we are back with Tim. Hi, welcome back. We were having great conversation, getting deep into the things that we want to teach other people. We learned about your life.
Yep.
And it's amazing how you turned your life around and you are where you are now. And literally that will tell people there is no excuse for anyone not to really step into their light. And,
Well, when you and I connected,
Yeah.
we connected not on a business level, we connected on a story level.
Correct.
Because with you, you've been through a lot of very similar things that I've been through. Okay? So when I started talking to you, I wasn't talking to you about business when I met you. I wanted to know more around why you're doing the stuff you're doing, what, you know, where you came from, and how I can serve you.
Correct.
Okay? Because what I understand in most businesses, we generally go out and we want to offer our services to somebody is like trying to ask them, hey, do you want to get married tomorrow? And like, that's just not the way. I mean, learn who people are, learn their why. The reason that we talk about, I already know what customers will buy, because if I know the pain they're in, and whether I can have the solution, or I know a friend that does, I want to connect them to a solution that's going to serve their why. What do they want to do? What do they want to accomplish?
So basically how you serve them.
Yeah.
That's the most important. Get to know your customers first and then get to, so we're talking here is for probably coaching, or how about if you want to start a business? What's the steps that they need to take to start a business? How they know their customers?
What is the simplest thing? The thing that most people should be selling is what comes simplest to them. See, we think we want to create this business, and what they want to do, the minute they go into driving into it, all of a sudden they want to go learn how to be a marketer, or they want to go to learn how to be a shipbuilder, and they've never done it. Okay? So whatever comes simplest is what you should be charging the most money for. And I think when we go to start a business, if you connect to your why, there's a book, it's called The Bucket List. Before you start any business, if you don't know, and this comes from Tom Shaft, one of my mentors, he says, the first 1 to 60 on a bucket list are just normal, I want a car, I want this, and that's crap. The next 60 to 80 items that you write down start to be something. But it's that last 80 to 100, that last 20 things that you want to do that leaves your legacy that will make the biggest shifts in your life. Does that make sense?
Yeah, makes sense. So The first ones is majority people. I want to make money. I want to have security.
Right.
I want this. I want that. So you're saying wait to the end, after you write down your
Yeah, that
your
should
why.
be the first thing. Because there are three investments. There's time, money, and change. I can give you back time because we can hire the things that aren't worth our time, we can hire someone to do.
Yes.
Money replenishes itself all the time. But if I don't change my habits, you're never going to accomplish it. And the biggest way that we change habits is having a why. Is it to serve our kids? Is it to serve a charity? Like mine, I shared my video from Bangladesh. Mine is really, I like doing women's battered shelters, and I like changing the lives of kids. Because if I change one life, one kid in Ghana that we did, that kid may grow up to be Mandela. He might
Yeah.
grow up to be, anybody you know.
And then you feel proud that you were part of that. I mean, you don't have to know that, but just your soul knowing that you're giving an opportunity to someone.
I don't need to make up stories. If God knows, I don't need to let people know. It's what drives me.
Yeah.
Okay, so when I go out to serve others, it's just a byproduct. I mean, when you hang around people that serve, like you serve a lot of people. That's how I was able to come on the show and hang out with you. When you hang around people like that, life just changes.
Well, I had the choices to do different kind of shows about just talk about
Yeah.
who's wearing what and what's doing what. I decided to do a show to inspire people, to give them insight so they could see their life and give them light.
One of
to
the
their
exercises
life.
I do almost every couple of years, even if it's not a speaking gig or it's not something I'm going to go to do, I like to go to a third world country to remind me where I came from.
Wow, that's very good. So that's a step that you could take. Just travel different countries. I came from different countries, so I know. But travel to different countries, even watch movies about different countries. That will inspire you, or books about
Or
how
documentaries.
how people really live their lives. That will inspire, because really we have it made here. Even the poorest people have a microwave in their home.
Oh, listen, you can go behind McDonald's
Right?
about 2 a.m. and get all the free hamburgers you want. You
Yeah.
can't do that in Ghana. You
No.
can't do that in Pakistan. You go to India and some of the poorest places over there. I mean, they're rummaging through, the kids are rummaging through all this garbage.
Absolutely. So here we want to really inspire them to say, okay, you're starting a business. When you start a business, you need to know your why first,
Right.
why you're starting this business.
Right.
And the second thing, you need to understand who you're targeting, who is your, who could use your services.
Right, but break it down to a micro level. Like,
Okay.
where is it appearing in your life? Whatever your service is, shouldn't be a feature and benefit. It should be the consequences that are appearing in your customers' lives. Where is it appearing in their life, and what questions are they asking should be the byproduct of the benefit that you're giving to them, because you're solving that pain.
You're solving the problem.
The bigger the pain in their life. Well, it's not the problem, because a lot of times people don't think they have a problem, but there's pain in their life. What I want to know, what is the impact in their life if they don't use your service?
Okay, so is that will apply? I'm going to ask you deeper questions.
Yeah.
So when we come back, we're almost going to go on commercial. We will be right back for really deep insights from here. We'll be right back. Back with Tim Johnson. I am so inspired by you, and especially by your story. We met before, and you told me more things now that I heard because we were kind of busy in meeting everyone. But such an inspiration, and also you're sharing your insights with everyone, not just keeping it to yourself. Say, well, I made it, and everybody should make it. You're not giving excuses to people, but at the same time, you're giving them something to guide them
Yes,
and,
ma'am.
and show them the light that, okay, no excuse, but I'm going to show you how to get to where you're at. And my belief, you're in some real estate as well, right?
I own about 50 houses with my partners and I,
Okay.
and my wife manages about 200.
200 houses. So you're not just doing the speaking and the author and the coaching. You have a business on the side, and this is kind of like your passion.
Yeah.
Right. This is your passion to share your insight, and that's what we're coming from the same place here.
Well,
yeah.
it's the reason why my partner and I, Emerson Brantley, created Vitology.
Mm-hmm.
What I was realizing after, selling in the back of the room, selling franchise stuff, and being in people's houses, the more I connected to people would tell me, I want to make more money. Great. Let me be honest. Why do you want to make more money? What would you do with it? Where are you going with it? And I'd rather ask those deeper questions because I think we've been dating for 3,000 years.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if that's the natural habit, if that's the natural progression of how we get to know people, why would we not sell any different? Does that make sense?
It absolutely makes sense.
So
yeah.
I try to get into, especially high ticket. I'm not saying you can't sell, $1,000 product, but the more you dive into the emotion of why they're doing something, and one of the things is, if you know who you're not for from day one, you spend a lot less time
Eliminating.
trying to be friendly.
Yeah.
So one of my mentors, Tom Chef, we said, the dumber you are, the more you sell. Right? And it's kind of a funny joke,
Yeah.
but how many times have you been out at a restaurant with a friend, or you're out with friends and all they do is talk about themselves?
Yeah. Oh, a lot.
And then you just check out.
And you're like, okay.
But that's the way
That's
most
fine.
of us sell.
Yeah.
So if we know what pain they're in and we can connect that why to the service or product that they have,
That will make you more not just successful, because a lot of people make money.
Yeah.
Just they know how to make money, but you want to make money and be happy at the same time. You're finding your life.
This was a model that I learned from Tom. He's my sales mentor. But what was amazing about it, he literally sold $1 million in one day because he's out to serve his clients. It's not a number. It's not a product. With a 68% divorce rate in the United States, we forget to serve our clients and pay attention to them. I always make a joke with my students, like, don't call your wife or husband for a month and see if they still answer the phone.
Yeah.
But that's the way we do with clients.
Yeah, it's true. So let me ask you a question. If someone wants to just start a restaurant,
Okay.
and they're why? Because they like to cook.
Right.
But what is it they need to know? What is it that gonna make them different from the restaurant across the street or down the street?
Well, it's service. I mean, what makes you different? One of the things that most people in restaurants won't do, I mean, I would create, if I opened a restaurant today, I would literally go to every business owner within 5 miles of there and give them a coupon and say, listen, why don't you come in and try it? That's guerrilla marketing. You don't have to spend all the money on Facebook ads, because a lot of them don't have the money at the beginning. But if you do guerrilla market, go in there, look at them face to face. The more technology we get into, people forget how to communicate with each other.
It's true.
Okay? And the more you can, here's the thing, we don't do this.
And you can taste on Facebook.
You can't taste, exactly.
Just invite them to taste something, right?
Yeah, give them away a reason why they want to come see you.
Yeah.
Hey, let them know that, hey, by the way, if you're catering a meal, we'll come in and bring it to you. Serve them. That makes it easier for them, not for you.
So basically, if you're opening a restaurant and you love to cook, probably that's what should be the main thing, is not just I want to make money, it's because I love to cook. Is that what you're saying?
Start with a strategy.
Yeah.
What's the strategy to how, here's the thing, you can love to cook, but it's also a business.
Yes.
Okay, so how much does it cost you to acquire a customer? What is it going to cost you? Build a strategy first. Tactics are great, but strategy, like what is your business going to do? Okay, what is it going to be different? What kind of food are you going to sell? And start to look up demographically, like where in that area, how many people within, I mean, you can look in almost like list.com, you can use other sources that will demographically and psychographically tell you where those people are. And is it a good place to open?
Yeah,
Okay.
so it is a good place. Yeah, if it is. So where you are in the community,
matters.
So what's the community they like? Which kind of food this
Right.
community would like? Because usually people attract like people, right?
100%.
And then, so first things maybe you have to start to say, well, I love to cook, and then put the strategy in.
Yeah, strategy
and then,
is always.
And search.
Most people just open up a restaurant. They never put a marketing strategy. They never put a business plan. They don't ever put any of those key things in there, and then they hire their friends. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, is that person good for your business or not? I mean, if their why and your why to opening the business isn't the same, so we call them professional time killers.
Okay.
Sometimes your friends they just want to hang out. They're not there to support your
To
why
support you.
or your dream.
Absolutely. Your friends are your friends. Your family is your family. Get away from that when you're running a business. It's totally
Well, and
different.
one of the things, if you're friends, okay,
Yeah.
here's the thing. You can easily take a pie chart. Take your 5 best friends, okay, divide their income by 5, and you're probably really not that far away.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're going to open, find a mentor that's done a restaurant.
Outside of the people that you know.
Yeah. Find
Yeah.
someone that's not going to be afraid to tell you what you don't know.
Would you say, because you know them for a long time, they already they're in the same place? So when
Yeah.
you have someone from outside, they're seeing it in different perspective.
Yeah.
They start to notice things that you don't even notice because it's a habit.
Well, and that's something Peter
Right.
Anthony, one of our friends, says. It's what is it that we don't see that's going to make the biggest shifts in our life?
Absolutely.
Because if we're afraid to hear, and listen, if someone's already been in the restaurant, find a mentor. You're gonna achieve way more with somebody that already knows the business, right? So I don't produce any kind of TV stuff. So if I wanted to produce a show, Amy, would you mind just teaching me some of the? Because I don't want to make all
Some
the
of the things
mistakes.
that- yeah,
I would
that
rather.
you did.
I would rather come by. I would rather have the experience on my side. So it's almost like the Bruce Lee method. I could train with the master, or I could train with one of the people underneath it. One's going to take me 1 to 2 years every day with a master, or it's going to take me 5 to 7. And 5 to 7 is money. I mean, you can take your time. So there's the average
Absolutely.
1,440 minutes a day. The average person works 2,080 hours a year. Okay, well, take your income, and you pretty much can figure out what hourly rate you're making. If you're going to make shifts, know what money you want to make. Do that same equation, okay, and then that's the difference you need to make. Most people want to make 300 grand. The difference is they don't know their math, okay.
Okay.
And if that dollar an hour part, so I always ask my clients. I mean, if you're going to go into, let's just say you're talking about your restaurant. I mean, if somebody's already set it up, wouldn't it be easier and it's going to save you a lot of money to figure out a way to hire one of those guys? Because as you
already
launch it
know,
up,
yeah.
they already know the
I
processes.
did that one of my businesses. I had a business, and I hired someone who already been running the same type of business for years.
Right.
And people were telling me, why, well, because it's going to teach me a lot of things. And it did. He taught me a lot of things. I mean, I have saved a lot of time just learning from him because I never done that business before.
And heartache.
Yeah.